Boarding the plane. Babe, I'll ring you when we get to San Francisco. I'll ring you. Yeah? Look, honey. Must go, babe. Yeah, gotta go now. Love you, babe.
I talked to her up until she boarded the plane. That was always, though. We always were like that. She liked meeting people, but she just loved to just come home and spend time with family. She was a beautiful person, loving, caring, a wonderful mother to our kids, and a wonderful wife to me. She meant everything in the household. Sort of kind of kept everything together. She was the organizer, kept it all together. We was deeply in love, deeply in love. That's CC is my heart and my soul.
Hey, Leroy, what about breakfast? When do you want breakfast?
When you're ready.
Okay, about maybe 30 minutes out. Okay.
Boarding card, Nami. 3D to the left, sir. Enjoy your flight.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Burnett, 4B to the right, sir. Good morning.
He was absolutely everything I had ever wanted in a man. Tom was funny. He had an incredible sense of humor. He was highly intelligent. He had an IQ of 175. He seemed to know a little bit about everything and was just a wonderful conversationalist. He was handsome and athletic. He had great faith in God, and he loved his family. He was certainly the perfect husband for me.
Sandy was just a great flight attendant and a great person overall. She just loved it, and that's one reason she was hesitant to quit, because I kept prompting her to give it up since we had the kids. I saw her for about 15 or 20 minutes before she caught her flight to Newark. And unfortunately, we were a little bit snippy with each other because I was upset she was going to work, and she was upset that I didn't understand why she was going to work. And she said, well, I'll be home day after tomorrow. And I said, okay. And the flights to Newark were all delayed or canceled, so she sat down in Charlotte for, I think, 6 or 7 hours. And I called her every hour just saying, sweetheart, just get on a flight and come home. Just get on a flight and come home. You know, I'll pay you the $200 you're going to make for the trip. Just get on the flight and come home. No. She was just beautiful, friendly, outgoing, vivacious, warm, loving. I mean, there's so much I could say about Sandy. She's a wonderful woman.
Okay, Mr. Jara. That's it. It's 1A to the right, sir. Straight here.
Zia Jara told me he was a pilot. I referred to him how kamikaze pilots would focus to be able to conquer something and not doubt themselves. Again, not knowing at the time that basically that's what he was. Kamikaze pilot. My background is 8 black belts, 4 master's degrees. At the time, I didn't realize his purpose, but I trained diligently. I trained the military, I trained police officers, and what I trained them in is how to take control, how to make a subject do what you want. And basically, this is what he was learning to do.
Okay, Mr. Gandhi, 3C to the left, sir.
Al-Haznawi.
Al-Haznawi. Yes, sir. That's 6A to the right, sir. Just along here. Have a good flight, sir.
up late, and then Mark had to make that 8 o'clock flight. It really was a rush. We exited off the highway into the airport complex. I pulled in the curb, the door opened, Mark jumped out of the front seat. He, gave me a quick hug and a kiss, threw the seat forward, pulled his canvas rugby bag out of the back seat, threw it over his shoulder, closed the door, gave me a quick wave, and walked through the automatic doors, and he was gone.
Hi there, Mr. Bingham. It's okay. That's fine. It's 4C to your left.
Mark was an amazing man. He truly drank from the cup of life with both hands.
I'm so glad I made it. It was a real crazy rush to get here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark Bingham.
Tom Burnett.
Nice to meet you.
The secret to Mark Bingham was that people were his passion. You could put him in a crowd of people and he would light it up. He was not afraid to go up to someone he did not know, a total stranger, and stick his hand out and say, "Hi, I'm Mark Bingham. How are you?" And that was the secret that he touched people's lives.
Good morning, this is Jason Dahl, your captain speaking. We have a traffic jam this morning. We are in a queue for takeoff. Please remain seated and keep your seatbelts buckled up, and we will hopefully be cleared off for takeoff shortly.
I was 13 years of age when I met Jeremy. It was just a friendship. Apparently, he had eyes on me from the beginning, and he told me later on that he knew the first time he saw me that I was going to be the one that he was going to marry. And he went home that day and told his mom that he'd met the most wonderful girl and that he was going to marry her. He was very excited about the arrival of the baby. Emmy was born premature, and she was only 4 pounds when she was born.
Debbie was the purser on that flight, Flight 93. That's the head flight attendant. She absolutely adored flying. And it was so much a part of her life and part of her personality in so many ways. She really soared through life. She loved to meet people, meet all different types of people, all different cultures. She would often take food that was left over from the planes. She would pass the food out to homeless people on her way home.
Awesome.
It was that night of September 10th when things really came together. Mark said, "So how do we make this relationship more exclusive, so it's just us?" And I just froze dead in my tracks. It's what I always wanted to hear. And it scared me, because it was the words I wanted to hear. I truly was falling in love with Mark, and I wanted to be with him.
Mark told me in August of '91, when he was 21 years old, that he was gay. I was dumbfounded. I had no idea. I have to say that I was pretty ignorant about gay issues, and I was even vaguely anti-gay. And when my son, whom I loved more than anyone or anything in the world, told me that he was gay, I knew that it was time for me to re-examine my attitudes about what it means to be gay.
I think I'm not very hungry. I was running over so quickly to get here. Come on. You get much less like
Thanks.
93, Cleveland, do you still hear the center?
On September 11th, I turned on the television to check the weather, and the first thing I saw was an airplane crashing into the World Trade Center. I immediately thought of Tom. The telephone rang. I looked at the caller ID and knew that it was Tom's cell phone. So I clicked over, and the first thing I said was, "Tom, you're okay," thinking he was calling from the ground.
No, I'm not. I'm on United Airlines Flight 93 from Newark to San Francisco, and the plane's been hijacked. Yes, I'm in the air. Just listen. They have a bomb on board. They've already knifed a guy. One of them has a gun. Please call the authorities.
And he hung up. I was terrified. I didn't know who to call. I thought, my goodness, who do you call for a hijacking? I reached for a phone book and started flipping through the blue pages trying to find a government official's number. And I thought, okay, I don't have time to do this. So I called 911 thinking that they could tell me who to call. And my first thought was, they're going to think I'm a lunatic. And they transferred me to a couple of different people. The fourth person was an FBI agent in Washington, D.C., and I told him the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is the captain. Please sit down. What was that?
The phone rang again on call waiting. I clicked over and it was Tom.
They're in the cockpit. The guy they knocked is dead. I tried to help, but I couldn't get a pulse. Yes, he's a passenger.
I then told him about both towers of the World Trade Center being hit, and he relayed that information to the people around him.
Oh my God, it's a suicide mission to hit the World Trade Center. Okay, tell me everything you can. What were the planes like that crashed into the World Trade Center? Were they commercial planes?
I told him that several airplanes were being hijacked up and down the East Coast, that they had all originated on the East Coast.
How many planes? There were definitely 2 planes. With what airlines? What time did this happen? Who are these hijackers? Where are they from? Do we know who's involved?
At one point, I asked Tom if he could tell where he was.
Wait a moment. I can't tell. I can see a field. We're turning around. We're turning back to New York. We're going back to the World Trade Center. No, wait. We're going back the other way. We're headed south. Okay, I have to go.
Alpha! Sit down, Alpha! Allahu Akbar! Sit down, Alpha! Allahu Akbar!
I thought about calling him back, and I was afraid that if his telephone did ring, it would draw attention. And so I sat there holding my telephone, waiting for him to call me.
This is your captain speaking. We'd like you all to remain seated. There is a bomb on board. We are turning back to the airport. They have our demands, so please remain quiet.
Please remain seated, sir. Please remain seated. Please remain seated. Please don't panic. Please do not panic. Please remain seated. Stay calm. Yeah, we're calling the captain to remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. That wasn't that?
Get out! Move now! Get out now! Move! Get out! To the back! Move now! Move! Do up! Up now! Go! Back! Back! Ball! Back! Move! Back! Move! Back! Move!
Yeah, no, it's not good. There's bad men in the plane and they say they have a bomb. Let me talk to Liz, yeah? Lizzie? The hijackers have taken over a plane. They say they have a bomb and they're gonna blow it up.
Our call was, it started at 9:37 and went to 10:03. So that's about 27 minutes on the phone. You know, we just started saying, I love you, and it was endless. You know, we just back and forth, back and forth. He was the one that actually started saying, I love you, because when I picked up the phone, I panicked. I said, oh my God, not a bomb. I think I might have screamed and, you know, and started crying. And then we just started saying it back and forth over and over again.
I love you. Love you, I love you. I love you. I love you, I love you. I love you so much, I love you so much. I love you so much. You know I love you more than anything. I love you more. I've always loved you, you know. I love you, 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 I love you so much. I know I love you. I love you. I love you too, I love you. I love you. You know, I've always loved you. I loved you from the first moment I saw you. I love you. I love you so much. I love you.
It was just, I think, a intense pouring out of emotions. It allowed us to really kind of calm ourselves. It was so important for us to be incredibly strong for the other at that time.
I love you. I love you.
Mentally, I was strong. Physically, I can remember holding the phone because my arms were, I was shaking violently. But somehow, it's Jeremy. I love him so much. Of course, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make this as okay as it can be in such a situation.
There's three of them. They're Arab looking, Iranian possibly. They've got red headbands on. One of them is standing in the aisle. He's got a sash with a red bag around his waist. Says there's a bomb in it. They forced us to the back of the plane. I'm sitting in the last row. We don't know what's going to happen. Just heard that other hijackers have crashed planes to the World Trade Center. Is that true? Oh my God. You think that's what they're going to do to our plane, honey? Huh?
Honey, are you there? Jack, pick up, please.
Well, I was asleep. We turned the ringer on the phone off and the telephone upstairs because of the time zone differences. Be it family or friends, when it's 9 o'clock in New York and it's really 6 a.m. on the West Coast. So I never heard the phone.
Honey, are you there? Jack, pick up, please. I just wanted to tell you that I love you. We're having a little problem with the plane.
She stopped herself a couple of times when she started to say I or I'll, meaning she wanted to say I'll call you later or I will call you back. And I think she sensed that maybe that wouldn't be possible, so she stopped herself.
I just love you very, very much. I'm fine, totally fine for now. I just wanted to tell you I love you. There's just a little problem with the plane. I'm comfortable and okay for now. Just a little problem. Please tell my family I love them. Love you. Goodbye.
The first message was Lauren saying that she was catching the earlier flight, that she'll be home at such and such time, and that she looked forward to seeing me. And then the second message was the message from the airplanes. I pretty much, when I heard her second message, dropped to my knees and wailed. I knew that there was probably a good chance that her plane had either crashed or was about to crash or would be crashed. She was just so calm and courageous.
I can't believe this is happening to me. This is awful, you know. I feel so helpless, you know. They've got a bomb, we've got nothing. God, I don't want to die. I've got so much to live for.
And then he said he thought he was going to die, and he didn't think he was going to make it off the plane.
You know, I pray I can come home and see you and Emmy. You know, I pray this works out okay. I'm not hopeful, you know. I don't think I'm gonna make it out of here. We've got to face up to it. If anything happens to me, I need you to be happy, okay?
You know, he's just telling me to be happy for the rest of my life. And if he didn't make it, he needed Emerson and I to be happy in our lives, that the most important thing was for my happiness, and that he would respect any decisions that I made going forward in life, and to let Emerson know how much he loved her. And, and I was not thinking about that something bad was going to happen to him. So, you know, I said, nothing bad's going to happen. You have to be strong. I said, you know, be brave, put a picture of Emmy and I in your head, and just pray.
Horizon Airphone, this is Terry. How may I help you?
Yeah. Hello. We've been hijacked.
I'm the supervisor over the call center. When I took over the call, and I said, I understand your plane is being hijacked. Could you give me detailed information as to what's happening?
Yes. We've been hijacked. 3 people have seized the plane.
And told me his name was Todd Beamer. I asked him if there were any children on that flight. He told me none that he could see. I asked him if anyone was hurt.
There are 2 people lying down in first class on the floor. I can't tell if they're dead or alive. A flight attendant's next to me. I'll ask her. Who are the 2 bodies?
This guy told me that he thinks it's the pilot and the co-pilot.
He seems to think the pilot and the co-pilot are the ones that are on the floor. Some of the people on the plane think that they're going to intentionally crash it into the ground. Do you know anything about anything that's been happening?
And I told him I didn't know. But from the people standing behind me, I can hear exactly what was going on. We knew that they were suicidal attempts and they were taking these planes down on purpose. But I didn't want him to get upset at all, so I didn't give him that information. He was very calm. He made me even doubt if this was a real life hijacking situation. He was very calm. But the more we talked, I knew it was for real. The plane started to fly erratic. You can tell he was excited in his voice. And he said, "We're going down. We're going down.
We're going down. We're going down." Okay, wait. No. Hold on. No, wait. We're turning around. We're turning around. Oh, Jesus, help us. I think we're okay now, yeah. We're okay now, yes, we're okay.
And I asked him if he wanted to speak to his wife, if he wanted me to connect him.
No, I can't. I mustn't stress her out. She's pregnant. And she's going to have our third baby in January.
But for any reason, if he didn't make it off that plane, would I call her and let her know and his family how much he loved them? And I told him I would.
Mom? It's Mark Bingham. I just want to tell you that I love you.
I could tell from that he was working to keep composure and calmness in his voice and being businesslike, and had sort of lost track of the fact that he was talking to his mom for a second. But he knew that he was in dire straits, and he was making a call essentially to say goodbye. And he said, I just want to tell you that I love you. I'm on a flight from Newark to San Francisco, and there are 3 guys who've taken over the plane, and they say they have a bomb.
You believe me, don't you, Mom?
And I said, yes, Mark, I believe you. Who are those guys? I asked the question again, and I didn't get a response from him. The airphone was disconnected. In some ways, I'm grateful that I didn't have more time to speak to my son on the phone, because the last thing that he would have needed was a big emotional load of fear and uncertainty on the part of his mother.
So I was watching the television, and they reported another plane crash. They didn't say the flight number, and I just immediately thought it was Tom's plane. And I just began to cry, wailing, thinking that it was his, and realized that I was frightening the children. And so I began to try to get control of myself. And as I was trying to gather my emotions, the telephone rang again. It was Tom's 3rd phone call. And so my first thought was, he survived the plane crash. And I was so glad. I said, Tom, you're okay. And he said, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
And I said, they just hit the Pentagon.
That's unbelievable. They've just crashed a plane into the Pentagon. Can you imagine?
Jeez.
Okay, I need details. Who's behind it? What do they want? What airlines are involved? How many have crashed? What's the likelihood of them having a bomb on board? No, I don't think they have one. I think they're just telling us that.
I did tell him, based on my experience as a flight attendant and training as a flight attendant, that an airplane could survive a bomb blast if the bomb was in the correct place on the airplane. He didn't seem to be very interested. He was concerned mostly with their taking back the airplane.
We're gonna have to do something. They're talking about crashing the plane into the ground.
We're gonna have to do something.
I'm putting a plan together to take the plane back from the hijackers.
I asked who was helping him, and he said a lot of people.
Different people. Several people. There's a group of us. We're gonna
think about this.
We're gonna do something.
Something's gonna happen.
He told me not to worry. I was very worried. But he was also very good at instilling in me the confidence that he had everything under control. I knew that Tom could do anything. And I really believed that morning that he was capable of handling the situation aboard that plane. I thought he would be home that night. I expected him to be home that night. And more importantly, he expected to be home that night.
In case I don't see you again. Mom?
Oh, look, baby, it's me. Our plane has been hijacked. It's Flight 93. There are 3 hijackers with knives. At least 2 people have been killed. These guys are Arab looking. I love you, babe. You tell the kids I love them too. I love you. I pray the Lord God protects us all. And I hope I see your face again.
And my will is in my safe, and my safe is in my closet. And if you go in there, the combination is 633663. And I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to say this to you again in person. I hope so. But I really love you, Els. And I'm really going to miss you.
We'll be towards you.
Goodbye.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean nothing left? I mean, there's gotta be something left. They can't have demolished the whole World Trade Center.
I hesitated for a minute before I told him, but, you know, I really trusted him. I trusted his strength. It was valuable information for him to have, you know, to be able to make a decision. You know, most times a hijacking, they land the plane or they blow it up. And this was a completely different type of hijacking.
You must call your people. Okay. Remember, it's going to be harder on them than it will be on us.
Then I heard an announcer say on the television that a small bomb had gone off at the Pentagon. And I just knew it was something huge and horrible. And the call was coming in, and it was Elizabeth.
Hi, Mom. We're being hijacked, and I'm calling to tell you that I love you and say goodbye.
It was a horrifying moment. Fortunately, I had been watching on that little TV, so I had some mental preparation. And I was able to be unselfish instead of just crying and thinking about myself and, you know, wanting to cling to her. I was able to love her, you know, and help her become peaceful with the inevitable. The only way I could tell she was agitated is she had shallow breathing at the beginning of the phone call. It was real short and choppy, and I wanted to help calm her down. And so I said, look, Elizabeth, I've got my arms around you, and I love you. Let's just be together here.
I can feel your arms around me. And I love you too.
So I said, let's just look out the window at the beautiful blue sky and take some deep breaths together. And we did, and it was amazing because within just a few breaths she was calm. And so we were together, and a lot of the time we were quiet. And it was just peaceful between us. No crying, no hysteria, no yelling.
Gosh, I'm not even talking. This really wonderful woman sitting next to me gave me the phone and said to call home. Do you know what's happening?
I said no because I felt the only way I could be calm and be the best mother I could be was to say no. And I felt like if it was important for her to discuss it with me, she would still go ahead and discuss it. But I just didn't want it to be about me. I wanted it to be unselfish. And I knew I would end up being a crying, clinging mama.
Mom, it hurts me that this is going to be harder on you all than it is on me.
And I think that's a perfect example of Elizabeth's unselfishness, that in the midst of all of that, she could be thinking about the impact of it on us.
Give my love to Tom and Sarah. I don't know how they're going to cope. Tell them that I love them. I know Omi and Grandmom are waiting for me.
And that was a beautiful thing she did say. She called my mother Omi and Ben's mother Grandmom, and she said that she knew Omi and Grandmom were waiting for her. And they both were dead. It made me feel clear that she was really going through a transformation while we were on the phone. I just feel like she was really releasing her life and going to wherever she had to go. And again, we were quiet.
It's okay. It's okay. They've left us in the back, and well, the guy with the bomb is up front. There's nobody really back here.
Everyone was calm until the plane started to take a dive and fly erratic. Then you can hear a lot of commotion, an awful lot of commotion. You can tell the difference when someone is screaming for their life. And that's what I felt. They were screaming for their lives. I could hear that. I could hear the screams, the crying, the hollering. Total commotion. That was the worst part of my entire conversation with him, was hearing the commotion of those passengers. I hear their voices. Often. Something I'll never forget.
Have you heard what's going on, Phil? My flight's just been hijacked by 3 guys with knives.
I'm like, what? She said, yeah, my flight's just been hijacked by 3 guys with knives.
I saw one of them sitting in the last row, first class. They've got red bandanas on their head and they're Islamic-looking people. We're in the back galley here, boiling water ready to throw on them. Do you have any ideas? Do you have any ideas to help us?
And I was like stunned. I couldn't believe it. And I said, I can't think of anything, sweetheart.
It's flight 93 to San Francisco. We were delayed. We didn't leave until about 8:40. Well, they just herded all of us to the back, and there's a few people still left in first class. I just wish I'd listened to you and not taken this flag. No, I don't have any idea where we are or where we're headed. Wait, there's the sun's in front of us, and wait, I can see a river beneath us. I don't know who's flying the plane because we're all right at the back. But there's a bunch of us getting ready to run up front and do something.
The fourth phone call came in about 5-6 minutes before the top of the hour. He was very quiet, very solemn. I couldn't hear anything in the background. It sounded like a routine flight. I could hear only the engines of the airplane.
Is there anything else you can tell us? Anything? We're gonna take them on. We're gonna do something. I mean, wait until we're over a rural area and then we're gonna take back the airplane. I think we can do it. Don't worry, we're gonna do something.
It frightened me terribly. And I pretty much yelled into the telephone for him to sit down, be still and be quiet and not draw attention to himself. And he yelled back and he said no.
No, we're gonna have to do something.
The words that I said to him were the exact words that had been drilled into me in flight attendant training years prior. And when they came out of my mouth, I immediately knew it was the wrong thing to say. And then, of course, to have him yell back at me, I really knew it was the wrong thing to say. But I couldn't help it. I was so afraid for him. And I wanted to help. And that's what I had been told, so I wanted to pass it on. But I am so very glad he did not take my advice. He rarely did. I told him that I had called the authorities, and he said, I don't know what they could do.
It's up to us now. I think we can do it. How are the children? Are they okay?
I told him that the children wanted to talk to him.
Tell them I'll talk to them later.
I told him about his parents, that they knew his plane had been hijacked. And he scolded me.
Well, you shouldn't have worried my parents. How are they doing?
I told him that I loved him and asked if there was anything else I could do. He said, pray, Dina. Just pray. He did not expect to die on that airplane. He was not saying goodbye. He was not talking about death. He was not reviewing his life. He was formulating a plan. And he was coming home.
Babe, listen. My plane has been hijacked.
I just answered the phone, like I normally do. Hello, babe, how you doing? And she said, babe, you need to listen. My plane has been hijacked, and I said, stop joking.
No, it's not a joke. I'm not joking. You need to listen. And my plane has been hijacked. And I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm calling to tell you that I love you. And I want you to tell the boys that I love them. Because I don't know if I'm going to see your face again.
And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know you'll see our face again? I said, at that point, I didn't know. I asked her what it means. She said, just listen. She said, I love you. She just went on expressing her love for me and her love for the kids.
I love you. And you made me so happy. I love you. And just tell him I love him. Just tell him I love him.
No guns, no. Not that we've seen any, no. Certainly no machine guns, just knives. I don't know how these guys get on board with what they have. They're smaller than many of us. Maybe we can get some pretty heavy guys here. I think it's gonna just... You think it's a good idea? Should we risk it? I mean, what do you think? Should we give it a go?
hesitated for a minute. You know, I remember thinking in my mind, say I give him the wrong information and, you know, it causes him to die or something like that. And there really wasn't a lot of time. You know, there really wasn't another option after seeing what I had seen in New York. And then finally, I think I said, honey, you need to do it.
Always got my plastic butter knife for breakfast, huh? Look, please, do you mind? Would you help me? Will you say the Lord's Prayer with me?
But I didn't hesitate to recite it with him.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
We recited it word for word.
Give us this day our daily bread.
We did it in a calm voice. We did it together, very calmly. And I think that just gave him the strength, because after that, that's when he told me that he's going out on his faith and they're going to jump the guy with the bomb. And I told him I would stand behind him. That's what he chose to do.
Phil, be sure and raise the kids right. Tell them I love them. Give them a big hug from me. Well, hopefully I will be back soon, love, but...
And I told her not to worry. We'd take care of everything. She'd be okay.
Just remember, I love you, and I've been so happy with you. I love you too.
They're getting ready to break into the cockpit. I have to go. I love you. Goodbye.
It was excruciating. I think, you know, mother feels like you're supposed to be able to keep your children safe. I could love her, but I couldn't keep her safe.
We're trying to jump the hijacker with a bomb. I'm taking a vote. You guys gonna do it? Yeah? All of us? Yeah? Well, we should do it now then. I'm gonna give it a shot. Listen, I'm gonna leave the phone right here, yeah? I'll be right back. I love you.
So Jeremy said his goodbyes to Liz, and at the end she said, he said he'll be back, you take the phone, and she couldn't listen anymore. So I took the phone, and it was probably 45 seconds of silence.
Oh God, please help us. Help us. I love you, I love you, I love you.
Then we said a prayer, and then I can just hear the commotion in the background. I can hear the passengers screaming, and she was just, and at that point she was saying they're getting ready to do it.
They're getting ready to do it, babe. Babe, I love you. They're getting ready. They're getting ready to do it.
Series of screams, kind of like a roller coaster, diving. I mean, just a mass of people with a scream, and I presumed at that point that there was some type of struggle going on, and as if the plane was diving or turning or flipping.
Come on! The plane's going down! Look at it!
I can can just hear the boom, boom. I can hear the bamming. I can hear that part, and I can hear guys, you know, I can hear guys' voices and, you know, just excitedly, like a confrontation.
I'm hoping that Jeremy or someone's going to come back and say, we got them or something.
And I just heard me and her. And besides the screaming that I heard, and then she screamed and we got disconnected because that was the last thing I've heard.
That's when there was the second set of screams, which probably occurred seconds before the plane crashed. Then nothing. At the time, it was kind of so terrible I didn't want to share it. I mean, I still hear the noise every now and then. So it's not something that I talk about a lot.
They did what they had to do to make sure that that plane didn't reach its destination. Brave, very brave. And I commend each and every last one of them are heroes.
I can remember what happened. I can remember the feeling. I can remember the windows. I can remember the sun coming through the windows. I can remember the unmade bed. I can remember his smell. I can remember his genitals.
You know, he made me feel that I was special and that I was different from other children in the school. And that he'd singled me out to spend time with me. I didn't know whether it was right or wrong. He was telling me that it was great, that I was lucky.